Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video. This is gonna be the second painting in this Stranger Things series that I did. This one was probably not my favorite, but I still appreciate the way that it came out. This one is of the fan favorite Eddie. I loved Eddie too. He was such a good character. He was kind of a wild card, but at the same time somebody that we have to protect. We have to protect Eddie. Loved him to death. His whole scene where he was playing that Metallica and stuff, I was like, yeah. It was my jam. I grew up with that 80s rock. My dad loved him some Metallica, so when that joint came on, I was getting it in too. So this guy is super cool. I love the way that he approaches his fans too. That was one of the main reasons that I wanted to paint him. Not only is his character cool, but he seems like a pretty decent dude too, like the actor. I mentioned in the last video that I wasn't really feeling the kids, but Eddie alright with me. And Doja Cat trying to holler at him. I'm glad that, you know what I'm saying, that little kid called her out because, you know, F Doja Cat. I ain't forget about that racist stuff you said. I ain't gonna hold you guys up too much. Let's get right into the video. Alright, so I start this one off like I normally do with a light wash, but this wash was a little bit heavier than usual. Like, I don't know why I did it so heavy, but it was a little bit heavier and I lost a lot of the outline. Now, I did notice that even though I lost a lot of the outline, I didn't really need it too much. So I think I might start dialing down my outlines a little bit because a lot of it is really unneeded. I think it'll make me a better artist too. Alright, so during this part, I wanted to get those first layers of skin down. Now, most of the time, I stick to just one layer, let that completely dry, but for this one, the proportions just weren't looking all the way there, so I went in with another second layer before the other layer was dry for that first layer of skin, and I don't hate that I did that. Alright, so now it's time to work on the hands. I also did some work on the hair, like around the hands, because I wanted the hands to really blend into the hair. Also, the hands were like really super like painterly, and you know, from like a distance they look really detailed, but when you get up close you can really see those brush strokes, and I really enjoyed that. And I wanted to keep a lot of like around his face to look kind of painterly. You'll see when I get into the jacket it does too, but especially the hands, I really loved it. This is probably my favorite part of the painting, is the way that his hands came out. While they're not perfect, I still really enjoyed the way that they look. You'll also notice that even when I go in with my second layer around the hands, I really try to preserve that like painterly look too. Next, it was time to work on the jacket, which I think came out pretty sweet too. I kind of got away from the reference when I was working on the jacket, but I think that I made some, you know, executive decisions that made it overall look good when it gets to the end. I also took some time to work on the shirt as well as the mouth, and this mouth kind of gave me a little bit of a run for its money because I learned, and I've seen so many different artists saying never draw in like the I don't know, like the lines on the teeth, and you're supposed to like not do full lines, only like hint at the gums and maybe hint at the bottoms of the teeth where they separate. But I don't know if it was just the color or if it was not doing the lines, but it didn't look like the reference, because the reference you can see all of the lines in the teeth. I'll put the reference up so you can see it. I don't know, it's gonna be over here or over there. But towards the end, after sitting with it for a while, I think I'm okay with the way that the teeth came out, but I did struggle with this as I was doing it. I did however, have a great time working on the jacket and the shirt. I think that was one of my favorite parts of doing this. The jacket and shirt I think came out pretty sweet, next to the hands. My favorite part was the hands. All right, so next, this whole last stage is just a whole lot of refinement, getting in there and finishing up the hair and whatnot, and just like cleaning up a lot of stuff. Like, I wanted to spend a lot more time in this stage, but just something wasn't right for me. Something wasn't just there. I think a lot of it was like the eyes I wasn't 100% happy with, and just the proportions in general I felt like were just a little bit off. But you know what? I spent time on it, and I didn't want to get too caught up on it, and I just wanted to get through this, and I can always come back later if I want to, but I wanted to just get through this so I can get on to the next thing. And I still had a lot of fun with this painting, even though, like I said in the beginning, it wasn't my favorite. But like, you know, I still think like it's pretty good. I think it's worlds better than some of the stuff that I was doing before. But we're gonna just go ahead and wrap this thing up. Alright guys, and that's gonna be another video done. Had so much fun with this one, even the ups and the downs. It's fun. It's part of the process, you know, the ups and the downs and all of that. Love Stranger Things, and I can't wait for you to see the last part of this series. It's a fun one. It wasn't my favorite painting, it wasn't my least favorite painting, but it's a painting that I think is cool and spooky. Going with that whole Stranger Things vibe. Max, she's a rider. I'll talk more about that in the video, but for this one, Eddie, great character. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this process, and yeah, peace, love, and I will catch y'all next time for some more sweet stuff.